So again, we're continuing on with 17.1, understanding polynomial expressions. We're on page 808, and we will go into page, we'll go to page 810. Okay, so simplifying polynomials. Polynomials are simplified by combining like terms. Like terms are monomials that have the same variables raised to the same powers or same exponents, right? Unlike terms have different powers. So if we look at the example here, so like terms, same variable, same power. So we have r squared, 5r cubed, and we have 2r squared. So we our unlike terms will be 5r cubed, and our like terms will be r squared and 2r squared. So if I combine those, I actually get 3r squared. Okay, am I done though? No, I'm not done. And if I move to page 809, I see that they've done this. They've identified the like terms by grouping them together, which is what we did here. Okay, we combine using distributive property. Okay, and we get 3r squared plus 5r cubed because they simplified, right? So I did it a little bit different. I just took my two like terms and I added them together, and I got 3r squared plus 5r cubed. But in order to write that in standard form, I would want to write it as 5r cubed plus 3r squared. And so that would actually be my final answer. And we're going to go ahead and do a few more examples. And so right now, for example 3, I want you just to watch. Okay, so combine like terms and simplify each polynomial. So I have a negative 2y cubed. Do I have any more 2y cubes? I do. I have a positive 2y cubed. I'm going to go through and I'm going to say, oh, I have squared, well, I have negative 8y squared, and I have a y squared. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my symbols or my lines, and I'm going to go through and I'm going to say, well, I have negative 2y cubed plus 2y cubed, which is actually going to give me 0, right? Because they cancel each other out. Okay, I'll go ahead and erase that so you guys can see, but they really do just cancel each other, right? And I hope that you can see that there. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to say, well, now I'm left with 8y squared plus y squared. Well, I have a negative 8. So I'm adding a positive number. Okay, so I have negative 8 plus y, so I'm going to get negative 7y squared. And that's actually going to be my answer because I don't have anything else. I don't have to put this into standard form because this is standard form. It is a monomial. Okay, so now I want you guys to pick up your pencils. Go ahead and look at B with me. We're going to do it a little bit different than this, so I want you guys to cross that out if you want. And we're going to go ahead and actually use the reflect area to go ahead and do this. And so we have p squared q cubed minus 4p to the 5th q to the 4th minus 4p squared q to the 3rd plus 3p to the 5th q to the 4th. And so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to find everything that has p squared and q cubed. Okay, so I have here, this is not 1, my second term is not 1, my third term, oh yeah, that is the same, right? So I'm going to be able to combine what I have underlined in red, and then I'm going to go through and I'm going to say, okay, I have p to the 5th, q to the 4th. I have the same thing here, so I'm going to be able to combine those as well. And so I'm going to go through, and I'm going to go p squared, q cubed, minus 4p squared, q cubed. That's going to give me, right, I'm going to draw an arrow. That's going to give me negative 3p squared, q cubed. So if you guys have noticed, I'm not doing anything to my variables and my exponents. My coefficient is changing, right? So I have a 1 here. We know that negative 4 plus 1 or 1 minus 4 gives us this negative 3. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do the same thing for the terms that I have drawn a squiggly under. And I'm going to go ahead and combine those, and sorry about that, and I'm going to simplify that, draw an arrow, and so I'm actually going to combine my coefficients. So negative 4 plus 3 is going to give me a negative 1. So I have negative 1, p to the 5th, q to the 4th, and now I'm going to actually go ahead and put these together, and so my final answer is going to be negative 1, p to the 5th, q to the 4th, minus 3p squared, q to the 3rd. Now, I wrote it in standard form, right? I started with my highest exponent, and I continued on, okay? What would my leading coefficient be? My leading coefficient is going to be negative 1, okay? So that's something else that I want you guys to remember and keep in mind. So let's go ahead and do one of your turns on page 810. And so we will go ahead and do, this one's going to be good. Let's do 13. So the first thing we need to do is distribute. Okay, so we're going to start with our first term. So we're going to have 3a plus 3b, okay, minus 6b minus 6c plus 8a minus 8c. So now I'm going to go through with different colors, and I'm going to highlight what is the same and what I can combine. So I'm going to be able to combine 3a and 8a. I don't see any more a's, so I'm going to go ahead and switch colors, and I'm going to look at my b. I'm going to be able to combine 3b and negative 6b. And last but not least, I'm going to look at c. I'm going to be able to combine negative 6c and negative 8c. So because these all have the same exponent, right, and I'll go ahead and show you that. So I have 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. We're actually going to go alphabetically. So we're going to go A, B, C. So that's going to be the order or the standard form of how we would write this polynomial. Okay, and so my final answer, so for starting with A, we have 3a plus 8a, so 8, 9, 10, 11, so I have 11a. So I can cross those off, we're done, right? And I'm going to move on to B. So 3 minus 6b, so we have minus 3b. Okay, I'm done with my b's. And then I have negative 6c minus 8, so we have negative 6 minus 8. That's going to give us a negative 14c. Okay, so this is going to be my answer. I'm going to go ahead and say, okay, I combined my A's, I combined my B's, I took care of my C's, and that was the last thing that we needed to do. Okay.